mean, technically, it was just waiting for me to call out the fight. I get injured in sparring. Then I twist my knee in sparring, and I think at that specific moment I knew it wasn't good because I heard it like crunch, you know. Even the next day before we did the MRI, I'm like, you know, it's not good. And then when the report came out, it was so bad. I remember the UFC Dr. Davison, when he was reading the report. I mean, technically, he was just waiting for me to call out the fight. And then I asked to see orthopedic, and that's where I went there. Here, I'm like, yeah, I think your leg is a little different because you have more strain, more muscle, and then it kind of like support a little bit. As it might, the report might say this, but it's a little stable. So I decided to do the stem cell and everything, rehab, everything that can faster the recovery as much as I can be, as better as I can be to the fight. I didn't, I wasn't sure that I'm gonna fight, but I want to stay in the fight until the last minute. See if there is any change. But with time, I kind of like feel no great, but a little better. And that kind of like gave me hope. And I been talking with Kamaru Osman. I know exactly how much he deal with fight during training camp. I've been around, see him in a fight week, looking like but bro, see him in the fight day, he's just a different person, you know. Then I think that's kind of like inspired me at some point. I'm like, man, you might be okay when you're gonna go out there. Maybe the cortisone shot, the adrenaline, and everything, you might forget it. But was just trying to work on the mental part. But it didn't help when the doctor told me like I can have an irreversible damage. I think that was the thing that stick in my mind. I thought that, but there was still a residual of it somewhere in my mind. Because I was concerned about that. But plays good. I went there. I didn't even take the cortisone shot because according to the doctor, he would have take out all the benefit that I was having from the stem cell, and I'm like, and yeah, so I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I will deal with my pain. I will deal with it how it is, and I did it. I didn't take the cortisone shot. I'm supposed to take it on Wednesday, 5 week. Yeah, I did. A lot of rehab at the PI. They were like helping me to strengthen my leg as much as possible, all the muscles around to support the ligament, my hamstring, my quadricep, and everything around. I also have a hyperbaric chamber. I rented one from a friend here, Misha and Janelle. Then I put it in my house. Was using it every day. When I went in Anaheim, I kind of like the they didn't have one to put it in my room, so they were bringing it in the parking lot. So I was going to the parking lot every day to get in the hyperbaric chamber, you know. Try everything possible, use the game ready, the normal tech, everything that I can use on my leg. I was doing it because I had only 3 weeks to for usually stuff that takes 8 to 10 weeks. I mean, just for the MCL, which take like 8 to 10 weeks, I have only 3 weeks, not to mention the ACL. They say put you like depression, and I don't know exactly how to explain, but if it felt like you're below sea level, you're like 10 feet below sea level, so that compression help for the healing.
How much do you think your knee affected you in the fight?
A lot, because the first 2 rounds I couldn't stop thinking about it. Everything that I was doing, I was thinking about it. Wanted to switch, wanted to move, think about it. He affected me But at the same time, I think there was also a positive thing about it. I think because of my knee, I get some advantage in other place. Like mentally, I was there. You know, I was ready mentally. My recovery is scheduled for March, early March. Second, I think is about the 8th, March 8th. That's when I'm having surgery, and the recovery can be. I mean, it depends. It's gonna be maybe 3 weeks, 3 months before I start doing stuff like hitting meat. Then about 5 months, 5 to 6 months before I start wrestling. 5 months I start like stuff like wrestling, grappling, and then 6 months I'll be able to like fully train, and by 8 to 9 months ready for a fight. But they kind of like say I have a very different time of metabolism, so my body is like strange, so I can be up on my feet way before that. The healing process can be way before that, because I had with the MCL grade 3, I was able to like get it better in 3 weeks to be able to fight. So yeah, first of all, before talk fight, I think it has to be contract. It has to be done. Whether doesn't matter which the fight is, this has to be solved first before we get to the fight. So and I don't know, but in my what I want is Tyson Fury. Yeah, that's what is in my mind next, on the line next, and doesn't matter the situation. I think it's gonna be next. If I would to resign with the UFC, if we come to an agreement, that must be Tyson Fury first. If not, it will be Tyson Fury first. I never had an injury. Like before the Stipe fight, my ACL wasn't good, because I've been having an ACL issue for over a year. Before this accident, who aggravated it. This accident actually just aggravated my ACL and torn my MCL, but um, before that, I never really had a major injury. Besides of like short, I mean, not the type that I need surgery. I never had a surgery. I was worried at it at first. Then at some point, I found out that they know. So I'm like, whatever. I mean, do I couldn't do it otherwise. So I'm like, screw it, let's go there. You know.
That's true, right? Like when you went into the UFC PI, there's 50 people in there.
There's
right?
50 people in there. When you walk out here, there's 50 people in here. When you go with your car somewhere, even to the hospital, there's 10, 15 people there. So you couldn't control that. There's no hiding, basically. It's something physical. Yeah, if you have some sickness, some illness, yeah, you might hide that, but something physical, because the first week I wasn't able to walk like straight. I wasn't able to get in my car. I was getting to my car back road. I wasn't able to go down to the bed or go to the bed. It was all like I have to control all the movement, and with the braces on.
Do you think that like part of their game plan was to target that knee?
Uh, I don't know. I can't really be accurate. I can't really tell about that, but yeah, definitely. Like when you know somebody has an handicap, doesn't matter what it is, you want to utilize that. Maybe not targeted, but you feel comfortable about yourself going to the fight, because you know that he can do his diminuted. Everyone explored injury. Everyone explored weakness in the other fighter. Like when you see your opponent bleeding, it makes you he give you a little strength. Like when I look at him, I saw that he was broken. I explored that. Like from there on, I feel stronger, and that's how probably how I came through this.